The company acquired the freehold of a land plot. There was already an empty building frame assembly there, and there was no vision or understanding at all about creating the warehouse. The company spent much money on an automated warehouse with stacker cranes and other automated machines. But when the project was completed, it became clear that it was completely unsuitable economically. An urgent decision was made to convert the warehouse into a regular one, with tight aisles for stacker trucks, just to make it work at all. The company had its own warehouse management system, which has been developed for many years. It was basically a hybrid of accounting software with some control elements. It was almost impossible to use such software in a contemporary warehouse. And the initial project stipulated that the company will procure a commercial comprehensive warehouse management system. There was not much time left for the project either, just about 8 months. In these circumstances, it was important to urgently recruit a project team and warehouse managers to develop technology and evaluate the current state of affairs. The main task was to choose logistics technology and software able to use that technology. A tender was held, as well as racks, and other equipment were also procured. But as the project developed, it became clear that many aspects were not taken into account at all. The warehouse has narrow aisles, but intended for many parallel and intensive processes, such as placement, replenishment, picking, cell optimization, inventory keeping. Therefore, the software had to be very good at managing warehouse processes. We did a tender among market leaders and finally realized that besides seamless integration with a host system, SAP EWM offered many additional benefits. It is an open-source project. It allows to choose different implementation teams. It supports customizable projects of any complexity level. The software components are deeply interlinked. It allowed the company to solve several important tasks at once. First, the ability to use existing specialists. Second, high level and quality of integration inside SAP, which allows to work without much effort. In fact, all you need is not to try and break it. But it was not that easy about choosing a team. There were many teams, and they were different. It was important to understand how the implementation teams could support all our needs. We finally decided to go with TeamIdea because they offered the right approach to project implementation. They are not just consultants, formally developing an interface for a system and leaving everything else to the customer. They are more like business engineers, providing everything from implementing a business logic for the system to managing this business logic in real life. In fact, TeamIdea helped us to understand the possibilities, which the resulting product provided for managing our complex warehouse. They worked on the design with us and deeply analyzed all processes and technologies to provide optimal and the perfect way to implement them in software. The results were great. The warehouse operates almost fully automatically. Only 1 or 2 people are needed to manage the warehouse now. It was very important to achieve synchronous operation of different types of equipment. The main goal was to optimize the cost of the most expensive type of equipment, that is, the narrow aisle stacker. The cost of its operations depends on the number of working hours. Therefore, the faster the stacker performs its operations, the cheaper the system workflow is. The goods receipt starts from bringing a pallet to acceptance to be placed into a correct target cell. The software has all the information needed, and it gives a command to transport the pallet by a cart to a buffer cell of the corresponding narrow aisle, where the stacker receives it and performs a task for placing a pallet. At the same time, it gets a task to refill, and it gets yet another task to collect pallet, as well as a task for optimization. That means that the stacker fulfills all tasks possible in that aisle before leaving it. All the equipment is moved within the warehouse only when and where strictly necessary. Any empty runs are avoided, therefore the process does not cost much. That's exactly what is called good synchronization. At the right time, the correct equipment item gets the right task, and all the actions are coordinated with other equipment types. The highest level of coordination is transfer of a pallet from fork to fork, using different equipment types. For a long time, our company has used a boxes picking process by groups B and C in narrow aisles, using stackers. It was a terribly expensive and terribly slow operation. Through a series of studies, the working group concluded that there was a need to expand the fleet and add some low-level order pickers. It made the process cheaper, faster, more efficient, and cost-effective. Because a low-level order picker is 5 to 6 times cheaper than a stacker, and it may be operated by unskilled workers. The company has to apply up to 100,000 labels per day. That volume of operations needs to be automated somehow. We decided to make conventional gravity marking stations, then added some computer software, scanners, printers, and this led us to success. Every worker at a workplace can now make 4,000 to 5,000 labels per shift, which is pretty good productivity. And we have not only a system that works well by itself, but also a good understanding how to use this system to manage the warehouse. Our working group accomplished its task in partnership with TeamIdea. The project is successful, and to date it is, in fact, the best project in Russia based on SAP EWM software. We want to thank TeamIdea for the proper organization of our project and for the perfect final result.